To all Black women of America, I want to express my heartfelt apology for the role that many white Americans, including white women, played in electing Donald Trump. I recognize the pain and frustration that this has caused in Black communities and the ways this outcome has undermined the rights, the safety, and the dignity of so many, especially Black women. I understand that Black women have long fought for justice and equity, not just for themselves, but for all marginalized communities. And your commitment to truth, resilience, and progress is truly inspiring. As a white person, I'm aware that part of my responsibility is to listen, learn, and actively challenge systems that harm and marginalize. And it's clear that actions speak louder than words. I'm still committed to doing the work necessary to help build a future where all voices are heard and respected. Thank you for your continued strength and leadership. I'm committed to being an ally in creating positive, lasting changes so that we can all live equally in this country. To all of the white women who let everyone else down, check back with me in 4 years. I'm sorry for your daughters. I'm sorry for your sisters that you made a choice to vote a convicted criminal into the presidency. You complain about crime committed by people who came to this country to seek a new life, but you weren't worried about putting a criminal in office again. You must be aware that he's about to use his power to save himself and to save every insurrectionist who was sentenced as a result of the insurrection. You are truly about to see what misuse of power looks like.
Hey, fellow white women who voted for Kamala, this is not our opportunity to use Black women to ask them to do the labor of providing us with comfort and alleviating our fear and anxiety over the election. We're also not going to come to Black women expecting them to give us a pat on the back and say, we know you're not one of the bad ones. You did what you could, hun. And also, it is not our place to go to Black women when they are criticizing white women. I mean, have you looked at the numbers? And to tell them, not me, it wasn't me, I'm one of the good ones. Stop putting that on Black women. Stop it. Don't do it. If you've got big feelings of fear and trepidation about the future, about our rights as women, if you have intense anger and disappointment at other white women, shame about our demographic, stop asking Black women to manage those feelings for you. You are a grown-ass woman and you get to deal with them. And then how you can turn those feelings into effective strategic action.
Welcome back to another episode of A White Woman Talks About Race Because Black Women Are Tired. The comment reads, I think it would be cool if we heard this from them instead of a white woman speaking for them. And I agree. I wish we were hearing this from them, but we're not listening. And since we're not listening, you're stuck listening to me. Black women have spent years and decades and lives and centuries trying to educate us, trying to fight for us, the collective us, and we have not been listening to them. As a white woman, if I am ever caught speaking over Black women, I hope you will call me out and call me out swiftly. However, I think that there is a difference between speaking over Black women versus expecting Black women to continue to do the labor of educating us when they have been saying the same thing for decades and we haven't been listening. It is time for us to stop relying on their labor and to bring the conversation back home, to start having it amongst ourselves, to start having it within our community, and to start having it within ourselves. Because if we pay attention to what Black women have been saying, then we would recognize that blue bracelets are the same as we understand the assignment. They're the same as putting a black square on Instagram. If we've been listening to Black women, then we don't need them to step in and tell us that we're doing the same damn thing. And again, we should never speak over Black women on Black issues, but as white women, we need to be talking about white issues. And racism is a white issue. It is a white thing. We are the ones doing it. We are the ones perpetuating it. We need to start having these conversations in ways that aren't just shame circles that feel a lot like an AA meeting. We need to just be talking about it woman to woman, talking about it frankly, talking about it without immediately putting up walls of defense. Racism is a white issue. We cannot rely solely on Black women and Black educators to solve the issue of race. In fact, we can't rely on them at all because they're not the issue. We are. So we need to start relying on ourselves. We need to start taking the burden off of them to educate us and look at all of the educating that they've already done and start listening to it, start talking amongst each other about it. Because if we constantly wait for them to educate us and then we don't listen when they do, we're not moving anywhere. We're not helping anyone. We're not being the solidarity that we think we are. In the same way that we cannot solve issues of sexism and sexual assault until men start having conversations and holding each other accountable for the actions that they are doing, we cannot make any difference until we start holding each other accountable and calling others out before Black women have to get involved and call us out, right? A man does not have to wait for a woman to say, hey, that was a rape joke, that's inappropriate, for a man to step in and call it out. We understand that. So why do we think that the same is not true amongst ourselves when we're talking about race and how we inflict racism on Black women?
I have known for a very long time that Black women are arming themselves with all the tools they need to be the most successful people. And to see it all come to fruition, to see it manifest in this way so quickly, it's just beautiful. And I hate to cry, but I'm just gonna kind of let it flow because I want to share something that I think I've shared before because I talk about it with people in my life a lot. But as a mortgage loan officer for almost 20 years, I had the honor and privilege of helping so many single Black women become homeowners. They all had education debt that made it more challenging for them to become a homeowner, of course. And they had bachelor's degree, they had master's, some of them PhDs, and it was just amazing to see the dedication that they had to bettering themselves and the obstacles that they overcame to do it. Many of them were single moms of multiple children. Sorry, I'm a single mom myself. And so I know how hard it is to try to do anything for yourself when you're a mom. And these women did. And now here we are on this clock app. And I am witnessing the culmination and manifestation of all that hard work that I had the privilege of witnessing come together. And not only did they build all that for themselves and for their families, but they built it all and they're giving it away. While white culture and our own white families don't give anything even to their own. Not even to their own. They tell their own, suck it up and figure it out. It's just amazing. Y'all are amazing. We need to take notes. White people need to take a lot of notes. I just think Black women need to lead the way. And we need to get out of the way and let them do that. I think they can turn this country around. I think they should be in way more leadership positions. I think if we actually did have a system based on merit, that our corporations and our government would be filled with Black women cracking the fucking whip. And so I hope we take notes. I hope we take notes. And I want to say I'm sorry. I want to say I'm sorry on behalf of behalf of all of us. I can't even talk. This is just, emotional. But I'm sorry for us. I'm sorry for centuries of us. And kudos to you. You're amazing. Like, you are. I don't want to pander to you. It seems there's something off-putting and about it, but you are. Like, you are collectively, as a whole, since I was a child, the Black women in my life. My mom had Black coworkers, and so I grew up around teachers, coaches, faculty, professional women, and you've all just been so strong and faithful. And I think this video is getting really long now, but this may warrant another video about true Christianity, like true Christians. Black women, in my experience, are far more faithful and walk like Christ than any white people do. Let's be for fucking real. Anyway, I've digressed a whole bunch. Thank you for watching if you've gotten this far. And go Panthers. Yeah, go Panthers. Peace out, y'all.
Okay, white women. So now that we're feeling excluded from and kicked out of Dr. Barlow's Hillman Talk University, we're finally ready to have these conversations. I mean, okay, but it's not a good look for us that it took until we felt personally affected by all of this stuff to really take an interest. So let's talk about why we don't need to be in this particular space at this present moment learning from these Black women. Every single generation has some huge, awful, newsworthy event that really highlights how poorly Black people can be treated. And as it turns out, this is not our generation's first go around. It's only been 5 years since George Floyd was red-rummed. And at that time, we learned about the Black Lives Matter movement, which, by the way, was started by 3 Black women more than a decade ago. We went to protests and we went to marches. And at that time, Black women had some hope. They gave us reading lists and they made content for us, articles and books and videos, trying so hard through their pain and their rage and their grief to explain things to us, to help us to understand. And now, 5 years later, we have the audacity to come into their comment sections and say, we want to learn this stuff. We don't know it. How else will we learn? That's not true. All of the stuff already exists. And the real thing is, if you want to be an ally, if you truly want to be a safe person, most of the work starts in your real life, in your home, and in the community that you move in, regardless of whether there are Black people in that community or not. Because the 3 things that we need to start with in order to truly do the work have nothing to do with Black people. The first is, how do you handle emotions? Do you know what to do with hard emotions, with anger and sadness and grief and disgust and shame and guilt? Do you know what to do when other people are having those emotions? We need to be able to handle our own emotional baggage and also be able to tolerate other people's emotions. The second is to take a look at how you treat people who have less power than you, societally speaking. How do you treat retail workers, service workers? How do you treat children? What are your parenting values? What do you expect from children that you don't expect from adults? And why is that justifiable? And then lastly, how do you allow yourself to be treated by people who have more power than you, societally speaking? Some examples of these could be your father, your brother, your boss, a teacher, a politician, a religious leader. Do you know how to stand up for yourself? Do you know how to set and maintain boundaries? Because until we can do all of those things, any allyship, no matter how many books we've read, will always be performative. And these are the things we have to tackle within our own homes, our own communities, before we can even be able to meet Black women at the level that they are and speak intelligently about these things. So go do some Googling. We have the internet. All of the information is already there. We don't need to be here.
I pray to God that this does not come off as offensive to anybody, because I mean this with the utmost love and respect from the bottom of my whole entire heart. But when a black woman calls me baby, there is so much, what kind of magic are you putting in there? Because that shit hits harder than crack. Every single time, every encounter in my life that I have had with a black woman where she calls me baby, I have never felt more loved and supported in my entire life. I feel almost imprinted on. Like, are you my mother? I will go to the ends of the earth for that woman. Okay, ride or die, because it may have just been a very quick one-time encounter for her, but for me, you don't understand. We're like this. How, call me, beat me if you gotta reach me, because I will do whatever. How can I be of service? Do you need a ride to church? Let me make reparations for my people, because I love you. And I don't know what it is, but goddamn, there's something so special about it. It's magic. I want to have that effect on people. That is beautiful. And I love you. And that's it. I don't know. I've never felt more safe and secure in my life.
Welcome back. So in this video, these white women commend black women for the various things that they exhibit and things that they have been able to achieve in the United States of America. Now we know that the United States is quite a patriarchal system, so women are a bit marginalized, and not only all women in the United States who stand in other for the rights of women to be recognized. Black women particularly have been able to stand in the gap and have fought for a lot of things and reforms in order to favor women in the United States of America. So in this video, this white woman, the first white woman, apologized to all black women for the sacrifices that they have been able to make in the United States of America for women in general. Black women have long fought for equity and justice for marginalized communities in the United States of America. Now, this woman states that the strength and the leadership capacities of black women is very high, and so she even comments that a lot of black women should be in leadership position. Now, taking a look at the just ended election where the Democrat Party was led by a black woman, Kamala Harris. Even though she did not win, she got closer to winning. So I believe that if she even comes a second time, she will be able to win and run the affairs of the United States of America. Black women have always fought for the collective good of women in the United States of America. Whenever there is any kind of protest, you will see black women turning out in their number in order to support that cause or that agenda, so that they can help any marginalized group. Now, one white woman stated the issue of racism, and she says that racism is a white issue. So black women are not the issue, but rather white women are the issue in this case. So she stated that it is the duty of white women in order to tackle the issue of racism and not leave it in the hands or wait for black women to educate them when it comes to matters of racism. Now, the leadership qualities of white women, black women, is evident that this white woman also recommends that black women should be given a lot of leadership positions in the government. She also stated that even in Christianity, black women are more faithful than white women are. That is a statement that she also made in this video. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. Don't forget to share your opinions about this video also in the comment section below, and share this video with your friends and your family on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just click the subscribe button down here. Click on the subscribe button. Click as well on the notification bell. And I'd like to see you again in my next video.